Good evening, everyone. We're going to do a Joseph and Abbey session, and we're going to be sharing it on YouTube. The client wants she wants 4 questions answered, and the first question is, what is wrong with me causing rash, sharp debris under my skin? How did I create this and why? Am I clear of attachments, parasites, cords, etc.? And the last one is, I want myself and my life back. How can I move forward to an even better life? Anytime you have anything physical, anything that's physical in your body, on your body, you should always go to a doctor and seek medical assistance, because physical things have to be corrected. Me and Abby deal with energy. And energy can help, can heal, it can do a lot of amazing things. But it's like if you cut your arm, you're gonna put a Band-Aid on it. If you cut it really deep, you're gonna have to stitch it, or you're gonna bleed to death if it's bad enough. So it's one of those things that it's important that you understand the difference between energy healing and healing in general, and medical healing. And I'm not saying that the causes are not coming from somewhere else, but you have to heal the cause, the physical wounds. We can help you with the energy aspect of it, and it could be very well that we go in, we heal the energy side of it, and never comes back again. But you're still going to have the wounds that have to be healed. You understand? And that's kind of important to clarify that to people. And so I'm just going to go in and see what comes up on these questions and what is actually happening. The thing with energy, though, energy is, everything has energy. Everything can be read. And the energy tells us a lot of things and helps us in many ways. I'm just relaxing here for a second, and I'm going into the energy of all this. I see a person that grabs, that has a sore, and grabs the sore and goes and is in physical pain from it, and also is appalled by it. And there's all kinds of question marks. And so I'm going into them wounds, into those abrasions, into those whatever they are. I see it's sticky, but also sharp. It's how is something sticky and sharp at the same time? It's like if you fly into it, it's like sticky, but it's also sharp. And I'm just allowing the energy to flow here. It's interesting because when I go into it, it's sticky and sharp, and then there's nothing. It's silent. And so what is the cause of this? When I say that, there's like a tunnel that appears, and I'm going down this tunnel really, 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 really fast. And I roll out, I roll out, and I roll, and I come back on my feet. So I do like a tiger roll and come back on my feet. And I'm looking around here, and I see that it's weird because I see other versions of myself coming out of different holes, and of different tunnels, I should say, and they're all merging to this one spot. And it's a bit confusing because I only went down one hole. How come there's so many different holes appearing? And now there's many versions of myself. So, but when I look, I like, there's many versions of yourself. So, and this is part of the message. And it's like, it's confusing here. Because how is it that I went down one tunnel and ended up being in many, like, separating myself into many different parts and didn't even realize I was doing it? So this is, in a way, what is happening energetically. Things are being, you think one thing, but it's being separated into many different parts. So this could be how it spreads. It spreads through duplicating itself. But it's also confusing. It's confusing because how is this possible? And I'm only on the very, very surface layers, so I need to go in deeper. And I'm looking into deeper into this. And there's like, I see a bunch of parts, like the floor is like glass, and there's all these people underneath that are smashing the glass, and it's starting to break. And now I'm on like a ice, and it's cracking and breaking, but it's actually glass. And as soon as the glass breaks enough, you're gonna go into the glass, like into the where all these bodies are pounding on the glass trying to get at you. And I'm just experiencing this right now. And I fall through the glass into the water where all these things are, and they pull me down really, really, really deep. And like you can see, it kind of pans out, and you see like a 1,000 versions of this yourself actually pulling you deep into the water, deep down. And it pans out, and there's so many versions of it, and you're just being pulled down, and then you just getting pulled deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And there's like a panic energy to this. You sink down farther and farther and farther and farther. They're pulling you down into a different space. And we just allow this to happen. And it's literally like you're forced down into a different space. And you wake up and you have these abrasions on you. And you don't know where they come from. You don't know what they are. And it's confusing to you. It's almost like you had this dream, and you wake up from the dream, and these things appeared. And it's shocking to you. And they spread. It's not like it's just one. It's like it spreads outward. And it's actually really disturbing for you. I go back into the part just before you wake up, because you went somewhere and then you woke up out of it. It's almost like you don't want me to go there. It's like you want me to stay away from that wound, stay away from that place, because it's like you don't want me to go there. You keep saying that, and I said I need to go there. So I go back to that place because that's where I need to go. And they push you down into a place, and you fall into a darkness, and you're just like you're falling, and you're flopping around like this. It's just like falling uncontrollably downward. and you hit the ground really, really, really hard. And it's just everything. There's a like, what does the body sound like when it slams into the pavement going 1,000 miles an hour? Into concrete, into stone. This is what this sounds like. And you get pulled right out of your body when this happens, and you're looking at yourself, and you instantly wake up. Usually you wake up before this happens, or you wake up just afterwards. But I'm not waking up. I need to know what else is here and why this is happening. And you're looking around confused. What just happened? And it's like I actually touch you, and you are startled that there's somebody here, and you can't see me, and you're like blind, and your eyes are missing, and you're feeling what's going on. Who are you? And there's something here, down here with you, and it's in the shadows, and you're blind and you can't see. This is terrifying for you. And it's like what type of experience is it when you're in the dark and you're blind and you can't see? Like, how terrifying is that? And there's something here and you can hear it, but you can't see it, but you can feel it. It creates like your hair to stick up all over your whole body. And I said, I'm here with you. And you actually hold my hand because you're super terrified right now. And something jumps at you and I move you out of the way. And it's like, I'm not sure what it is. It's like this different it's almost like it's like a half a man, half a cat. No, yes, but it has like a mouth of a lamprey, and so it jumps on you, and it literally puts like things into your skin, and it feeds off you. It's like it's feeding. It's like it wants to feed off you. It feeds off your terror this way. So you literally have these things that come at you and they jump at you, and they basically stick these needle-like things into your skin to pull fear, because you're so afraid. And the time that you hit the ground, or when you're falling, you wake up, you're actually not actually awake. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, there's a lot of time goes by where these things feed off you, and you're completely unaware because you get detached from this space. So they're not even allow you to dream about them. They don't want you to know that they're here. And so I'm looking into this space, and I look at your body, and I look at the whole situation of how you even came here. And we need to stop this cycle from happening, because this is the energy around what is causing this, and we don't want it to continue. And so I look at this situation, and I put my foot on the ground really hard, and I create a beam of light that appears from the floor, and it goes straight up and then starts spinning around really, really, really quick. And it gets super, super bright, and there's a ball of light on the top, and it's spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning until the pillar is spinning as well, and it's giving off light. And it creates a really bright, 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 bright light through this whole place. And these things don't want to come into the light, it burns them. So I quickly slap my hands, and the light goes straight out into a room, which I encased ourselves in a room now. It has walls, and these things are all in the corners of the walls, and they're freaking out. Like, they look like black cats, actually. 4 of them, each in one in a corner, and they can't stand the light, and they're freaking out really, really bad. And I walk up to them and I grab them by the tail, and they're freaking out, and I place them inside like a box, one, and I grab the other one, place it in a box, and I grab another one, place it in a box. But the last one doesn't want me to do it, and it's different. It's the one that has it's like a human, and it has the thing, and it's able to handle the light better than the cats. And it's like, so like I just shine a light even brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and it starts to deteriorate whatever this is, and it's able to withstand the light amazingly well. The cats, they're like done. They're like shriveled up leeches inside the box now, because the light's so bright they just become like leeches. This thing though is starting to smoke, but it's still alive quite strongly. And I continue to shine the light, and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And there's a really loud no, please stop. And it comes from you. Enough, please stop. And I look over at you, and this is another version of yourself that just walked into the room. And you're actually going to this thing, and you're it's actually terrified now, and you're actually holding it, and there's some weird connection between this thing and you. And I say, there's just a little bit more light, and you'll understand why I'm doing this. And I shine the light really, just like, it's like a really fast burst of extremely bright light, and it burns off all the outer casing of this thing. And there's a man here under all this, and he's confused, but you know him, and you're confused as well. This version of the real version of you, not the real, but the like the version of you that asked me to do this, is confused about what just happened. And they just hold each other really bright, tightly. And this other version says he does not know what he does. It's almost like he became this twisted version of himself. And there's a part of you that knew that, and would still allow yourself to be fed off of, because he does not know what he didn't know what he was doing, and this part of yourself still loved him very deeply. So I'm looking at the situation, and I walk to the man and the woman, and I say, I need to do one more thing. The man's still lost and confused, and I say he needs to remember who he is. And I actually stick my hand inside his mind, and I have to rewire his mind with my hands. And to get him to remember who he is, it's like he's really damaged. Like, this is very unusual. And I also, I blow an orb of, I call it like, it's like an orb of information. It's about his life. And I blow it and I place it in his heart. And the man falls backwards a little bit. And he looks at the woman. He starts to cry. Like, he really starts to cry. And the tears create like a garden around him. It starts to grow flowers and grass, and it creates a little garden, and vines, especially vines actually, and the vines have flowers is what it is, and they go along the ground, and it's like you're in a patch of beautiful green grass with these vines around you, and the vines are full of beautiful white flowers. And it's like they will go around both of you, and they start to vibrate, and the vines wrap right around you, and there's these two, like a version of the man and a version of you, and they start to vibrate really, 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 really fast, and then they just fall to the ground. And there's a like a fountain of light coming between both of you now, or is coming from both of you. It's between you, and you're holding each other, and there's a fountain of light coming. It's almost like it comes out like a fountain and it sprays light everywhere. And you're just frozen, and you're kind of breathing in this energy, but you're almost like statues. You are statues, actually. And you stay frozen like this. And the energy just continues to flow and flow and flow and flow and flow, but the water is going into you, the energy is going into you, both. But you're statues. And the statues crack, and there's two babies on the ground. And I walk over, and I place both the male and the female versions in your hands, and I actually take you and I shoot straight up out of this place. And as I'm leaving, I have a cord that I pull all this upwards, and we finally go up to the surface, and I pull, this stuff is all attached to this cord, and I'm rolling this up. All this energy, I roll it up and put it into a cube. And I place it inside the box with the cats, and I shrink the cube down, and I place it on a shelf. It will heal itself in time. I touch it, and it creates like a magical light around it, in a way, is the best way to describe it. The souls that are, when they're ready to leave, they will leave, and when they leave, they'll be ready to leave. It's the best way to describe it. So it's almost like it's a cube of learning, and when they're able to leave the cube, then the learning is done, is the best way to describe it. And I'm looking at you, and you look really confused that you have two babies in your hand. And I said, just wait. And the sunlight appears above you, and it's like a portal that opened up, that's bright golden light that's shining down on the babies. And they get really heavy because they start to grow into full-size people, and you just set them on the ground, and they just grow into, again, a male and female version. And they stand up, and they look at each other, and they give each other a really big hug, and he remembers everything now. Everything for what and who he is. And he takes the woman, and he looks at you and says, thank you for setting us free. And we walk through a doorway. They walk through a doorway and leave. This version is like a past life version of yourself. And they were both trapped in this place. And they're seeking help from you, believe it or not. And that's the, it's not, I don't call attachments of it. That's what was happening here. This is energetically what is causing this. But like I said before, the physical attributes have to be healed. And this is what was creating And this is the energy around these wounds. So I look at you in general. I'm looking at your spiritual body, and you have a lot of wounds, but we all do. But there's one really, really strong wound around, around the sacral chakra, and I actually lay you down and I'm putting energy into this. This is something that what I would recommend is visualizing beautiful golden light shining into all your chakras every day, and just allowing them to flow, like allow the light to flow in and then flow out. It just clears them. And this wound is deep though. I place my hands inside and I pull out a lot of tar, and I place it in a bowl, and I set the bowl on fire, and I continue to stick my hands in, pull tar out, and I continue to do that until there's until there's no more tar left. And I have a golden fire that comes out of my hands and goes inside the sacral chakra, and I'm just burning any residues, anything that's left here. And I'm placing glyphs is the best way. I'm writing things in the energy chords of your chakras. I start with this one, and I'm drawing little glyphs, the glyphs of clearing, and what they do is it pulls out negative energy, and it just pulls out negative energy from your body, and I place it, and I just do this starting at this, and I work my way up, and I split myself up into many versions so I can do this faster, because there's only so much time I have. And I'm doing this one at a time. And your crown chakra is like a halo, and I'm actually doing it all around the halo, which then creates a bright light that even goes higher, and I place one really big one above that. And again, I go down to the root at the last. And I also create the same thing. I actually create glyphs all down your both legs. They want me to do that to make sure that there's an even flow, that it comes out the bottom of your feet, not just out your tailbone, so to speak. They want you to root from your feet all the way down your legs to your feet. And then below that there's another large glyph that helps pull energy out down into the earth. And you're going to pull bright light from above, and it goes through your whole body into the ground itself. But it's also flowing from your back through your body and out your chakra, so you have a continuous flow from above, down, and then round all your chakras, so it creates all these flowing energies. And it's always good to do this to clear out all your chakras in your body. Attachments are only belief systems. If you believe there's attachment, there is. But what happens, it's one of those things that belief systems are not easy to change. So if you believe something is real, it becomes real. So how do you get rid of that? It's one of those complicated questions. It's simply you have to believe in an intention, and that intention is real. And allow yourself to glow brighter and brighter every day. Like exercise is one of those things that you see, oh, you had to physically exercise. You have to spiritually exercise as well. You have to constantly work on the energy flow of your body, because that is also important. It's in some ways more important than doing push-ups or sit-ups or weightlifting or cardio or whatever you do. But we always forget about the spiritual side of ourselves. It's because we are energy. If our energy doesn't flow right, it creates problems. And they become physical, and then we have to deal with that. So this will help you jumpstart your life by simply keeping yourself healthy physically, spiritually. And the exercise that I just do can easily be done by you or anyone else. And allow your mind, allow your body, allow your soul to be able to tell you what to do. So when you start these exercises, if you have a desire to change it, then change it, because that's what you're meant to do. Tosoramania naka, tosore nopo, naka neo. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me on this session. And everything and everyone is different. And it's always a pleasure to help people when their life is difficult. Just remember the importance of ourselves. Or like, we always look at ourselves as just a physical aspect, and we forget about the spiritual side of ourselves. We are both physical and spiritual energy. So we need to take care of both. So take care and have a wonderful day.